just get everybody.
That's when he boots us out, 9 o'clock.
That's bedtime.
Yeah, that's his bedtime. Yeah, he has to go to bed at 9 o'clock. So.
Come to collect from the care home. See?
Oh, just make sure.
That's, yeah.
Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Webby, GA, and Matt are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
It started in 1928. Has it finished in 2025? Well, Nigel Tolley has said he's not giving up, and neither am I. So, tonight, we're going to have a celebration of all things Brummie. So, give us a B.
Hey.
Well done. Good evening and welcome to the Speedway Tavern. In the studio tonight we have Chris Webby Brown,
Good evening.
as per normal, and we have Matt.
Good evening.
Not quite so normal. We've got Chris. I forgot. Do you know Chris? I don't know your second name. Chris Butler and Pete Clark.
Hello.
Hello.
Right, Chris and Pete will be interjecting with their memories from working on the track for, I don't know how long you've been doing it now, gentlemen, but these are the guys that basically coordinate what goes on with all the volunteers during the week, and you've heard me speak about them plenty of times, so we will come on to that. How you doing anyway?
All good. Yeah, fine. Back's better now.
Yeah. I bet you've been sort of decommissioning the track. I bet that's not a nice thing to do.
It was essential. I said to the track staff on the last meeting, I said, well, to you as well, mate, just be professional and do as you've always been doing, because you can't do anything different.
No.
And now we've just got to take it apart like we would at the end of any season.
And deadline is the end of the month, isn't it?
End of the month, we've got to be
End of
done
this month, we've got to be done and out.
and gone.
Right. Well, as quick as that.
Yeah.
We don't want to dwell on that too much, but yeah, we'll talk about some happier times as well. We also, fingers crossed, and I'm not going to tell you who, may have another guest joining us from Australia. We're waiting for him to wake up, basically. But hopefully that will happen. As I say, fingers crossed. Where to start? Well, first of all, I'd like all the guys on the shout box. Give us your memories. You don't have to. Your team doesn't have to be Birmingham, but your memories of Birmingham visiting, or when you've been to a Perry Bar. We'd just love to hear anything that you've got. On which note, we've got. You sent me. Have you got that? You sent me on Messenger. Have you got it, or have I got to try and find it?
What was it first?
It was a message of somebody and his memories from. Oh, now we remember.
Yes, you remember.
Yes, Mrs. I'll read it out in a second.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll get to that. We've got a few things happening on the shout box. John Hope says, I didn't attend Monday, couldn't bring myself to view a car crash, but I've been a visitor to Perry Bar since 1953. That's from John Hope. And Dave Twine says hi. Oh, and Richie Big Boy Racing says, and I quote,
Prepare yourself.
Pete and Chris are heroes. There you go.
It's clean.
Checks in the post.
Yep. So, right. Your earliest memories of Birmingham Speedway. I mean, you I presume 2007.
It would have been 2007. I'm reliably informed that I was at Wheels Park in about 1986, but I was only about 3 years old at the time, so I've got no.
It hasn't
memory of that
changed
whatsoever. Like I said last week, Birmingham was always, in my life because of my father. Obviously, I grew up obviously supporting Wolverhampton, and I've always kept that allegiance. But there's always been an affinity with Birmingham as well, and just the sheer happiness in my father's face when that news finally came through in the end of 2006 that after 21 years away, Speedway was going to be returning to Perry Bar. And especially for him as well. Obviously, that was the same venue that he'd first watched Speedway in back in 1955. And the first night, I don't really remember much about that first night, to be honest. I don't think anybody I know does really. I mean, obviously, I remember it being a huge crowd, and I think Andre Compton won the meeting.
I believe so. Yeah,
who was the big star in what was the Premier League at that time. But yeah, that first season was. I think there was a lot of great things happened for Birmingham that first season. They had a really good side. There was some very good racing. I think there was such a euphoria amongst a lot of the Premier League promoters as well about the fact that Birmingham was coming back, a second city in the country. I know in particular, God rest his soul, Len Silver apparently had said at the 2006 AGM that he didn't care which group of the Premier Trophy Ryehouse were in as long as they were in the same group as Birmingham.
Right.
Which was a big thing for someone like someone with his aura in Speedway to say. So they were my earliest memories. I've got some memories in particular stand out as really special ones for me, but obviously we'll get into those as we get to them. So.
I don't know whether you gentlemen were aware of the 2007 team. Whether you was, yeah. Well, like Chris said, a very good team. What was your memories of that?
Having been away from Speedway for so long, coming back then, it was proper euphoria. It was the smell. It was the sound. It was a good season. Well, I think whatever happened that year, the fact that Brummies were back, it would have been a success anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a good team. We actually finished fourth in the table, but didn't qualify for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because we finished fourth. I think it was. I might be right in saying, I might be wrong. It was one of the Scottish teams, and I think it was Glasgow. Didn't let us. They switched our match with another one, which meant we couldn't get all our matches in time to get those last 2 points that we needed. Yeah. So we ended up in the Young Shield, and got to the final with, I believe, 2 fit riders. And that sort of was a pointer to what happened the next season. But great team. If I can, let's see if I can roll them off. Help me out. Jason Lyons, of course.
Brent Werner was captain.
He was as. Let's not be unkind. Chocolate and teapot comes into mind. But
first race winner back, Ulrich
Ostergaard, yes. Aidan Collins, of course. Ben Powell. Whoops. Lee Smart.
Yes.
And I'm missing Emiliano Sanchez. I loved Emiliano Sanchez. He had a life-threatening injury about 3/4 of the way through the season.
Spleen and everything out, wasn't it?
That was at Stoke. Yeah. So you might have been there. No, it wasn't. It was at Newport. It was at Newport. I beg your pardon. My God, I can still remember things from 20 years ago. Yes, but a great start. We came so close. I think if we'd have got into the playoffs with a fully fit team, I think we would have won that. But I think Ryehouse ended up winning it.
Yeah,
Ryehouse at the time with the powerhouse.
They started off with Ty Woffington in reserve.
I'm sure I'm right. I'm sure I'm right in thinking they were the first away team to come to Birmingham and win that season, and I think they won fairly comfortably as
yes, well. And then they came again in the Knockout Cup, and they was miles in front, and we beat them mainly because
they got decimated. They had 2 riders at the end.
One of whom was Adam Rynan.
Yeah, I do remember that meeting. It was, it's just amazing how some of these things stick out really. So, but we're not going to, obviously, just so for anybody out there, we're not going to just concentrate on the period from 07 to 25. Obviously.
No, but
let's have a look at your memories from previous.
Well, I'll have a few of those as well. John Hope, he said his aunt was an office girl at the Speedway. She took me along, then two girls, this was 1953, I believe, along with then two girls used to drag me along to get the autographs of the riders. Doug Davis was my favourite. And Simon Corbett's missed us, because we was early tonight.
Some of us.
Some of us were. Yeah.
Some of us were, yeah.
Some of us were. Yeah.
Dave Twine, first meeting, 1971, cup match, Birmingham versus Long Eaton. Wow. 39-39, saw first maximum, Malcolm Shakespeare, 15 points. Malcolm Shakespeare, by the way, was my first Speedway hero.
Yep.
Saw Flying Banana, George Major.
Who was there, of course, last Monday as well.
I didn't see him. I didn't know that. He's getting on a bit, I believe.
I think he lives on the Isle of Wight now.
He does live on the Isle of Wight.
Did come up for that.
He was there for the first match as well.
Yep.
So, Richie Big Boy Racing says, and a good team manager. I don't know why he said that, but thank you.
Yeah, that was probably the one thing from that season. Of course, halfway through it, of course, Graham Drury made the decision to remove
yes,
which I think was maybe a little bit of a rash decision.
Henning Bay was good though.
Yeah. I don't think he was as good a rider as Ostergaard though.
Possibly not. But he was. Yeah. So I mean, do you remember why that happened?
I've got a vague recollection that he missed a meeting, didn't he?
It was on the way back from the Isle of Wight on the ferry. Do you remember? Yeah, it was on the ferry on the way, and Ulrich said he wasn't going to be able to make the next match because his wife wanted him to do the decorating. Yeah. And Graham's attitude to that was, you sign for Birmingham, you ride for Birmingham. And so I have sympathy for that point of view.
He was no nonsense, wasn't he?
He was no nonsense.
He was the boss at Birmingham, wasn't he?
He was.
He made sure everybody knew he was the boss as well.
Yeah.
So.
I think it was 2010 when we was racing against, I think it might have been Kings Lynn. And it was one of them where the tapes went up, and it was a really tight meeting as well. One of them where the tapes went up, and somebody touched the tape or something happened and I had to go back. And now I can't remember the rider's name. It's Australian, blonde hair. That's most of them. Yeah. I can't remember his name. It'll come to me. But I just happened to be in earshot when they came out of the gates to go out for the... And I'm sorry about the language. But he turned around and he said... Right, you've got another chance. Don't fuck it up this time. That's what he said to him.
Was that Aaron Summers?
Aaron Summers.
Yes.
Aaron Summers. It was, yes. Aaron Summers.
But there was a few Australians in that team, because that was the season Steve Johnston was there. I think that was Jazz Knight's last season at Birmingham as well. So
I believe it was, yeah.
So
I could have had the beep ready then.
Yeah.
You could have, yeah. You should always have the beep ready.
That's the first find of the season. For
you should always have the beep ready, and you shouldn't talk about Matt like that. Right. Okay. Oh, we've remembered YouTube for once, and we have got something. Always remember the Brummies visiting Small Mead in the 70s with Ray Wilson, Phil Hearn, and a very young Andy Graham. Great times. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forget Ray Wilson used to ride for us for
right
a while.
At the end of his career, wasn't it? I think so.
Right. Since we've got these gentlemen in the studio, we should make use of them. So, would you like to come out? No.
That's Lawrence's job.
That's well, there you go. That's
Lawrence.
So the thing that because I did a little bit with you guys, not as much as I would have liked, but I did a little bit with you, and the thing that always struck me was, come rain, come shine, come win, come lose. I should say come lose, really, shouldn't I?
Definitely.
Come lose, yeah.
The banter on the track was always second to none. That was always laughing usually about whoever's riding at number one for us at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you give us sort of an idea of what you do at the track or did at the track, I should say, on a race night and the preparation that goes into.
Well, preparation starts the day before. Me and young Sid gives you get there about 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning and start laying tyres around the whole circuit. Others start coming between 8 and 9.
10 for
10.
me, 10 before
Chris
you
gets
say
there
it.
just before breakfast. Well, basically, we were covering the dog track with sheets to try and stop cross contamination, which takes up to 3 to 4 hours depending on how many people turn up.
And the weather.
And the weather.
Yeah.
And,
The wind being the
wind, yes,
Yeah.
because some of them sheets were 60 feet long.
Yeah.
We have done some sand surfing last year, clinging to it, and it just dragged us down the circuit.
Right.
Then you go fetch it back and put it back down again.
But there's more to it than just laying the sheets and everything.
Yeah,
There's
it's
main-
air
lot of
fence
maintenance,
out
yeah.
and cleaning.
Yeah, fence cleaning, jet washing, curbs cleaning, kickboards to be painted, replaced. Usually when the tractor drivers drove into them this year.
Set all the transponder stuff up.
Yep, transponders. Chris does all the electrics. So if you hear someone you need an electrician needed at the start gate,
It's me.
he's the guy.
Lifts in the
that was your
in the
fault.
main bar,
It's
that
your
one.
fault. That's what we're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he fixed the lift as well.
Got my orders.
yeah, then it was cleaning changing rooms.
Yeah.
Whole magnitude, but the cleaning pits.
Cleaning toilets.
Normally Elliot, yeah.
Yeah, that's Elliot as well. It's you see at the banter. I mean, it's we had to.
It's
Because it wasn't the Speedway
Yeah.
team keeping us going anymore.
Yeah, it was the banter that got us back every week, wasn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't enjoyable. People wouldn't turn up to volunteer. People said to me, "Oh, sorry, I can only do 2 hours this week." Well,
2
it's 2 hours somebody else ain't doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, if you're going to come 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, I weren't forced to be there. They volunteered. They chose to be there. And while they were there, you have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to be there.
No, well,
That's it.
absolutely right.
Sundays was generally 8 till 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, about those.
And then
Sometimes a bit later,
later.
if things are wrong.
then you'd roll on to Monday and 3 o'clock back down there finishing off.
Yeah. I'd get there about 2 o'clock on race day, and we'd leave there almost 12.
Oh, 12, 1 or 2 o'clock some weeks.
Yeah.
After packing it away.
And how many volunteers would we be talking about? 600, 400, 200? What would we be talking about?
I think I've worked it out actually the other day. I think the Sunday volunteers and the Monday volunteers actually come to technically only 44. But that's the people putting sheets on, sheets off. People that don't come no more. People that only come 2 or 3 times. Some people we saw once, never saw them again.
Yeah.
In the winter, we have to take. We were taking the kickboards down. They were repainted. Some people came once, threw paint in all directions, didn't come again.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, one person came and left with more paint on her than on the kickboards. I mean, so it was 12 months a year.
Yeah. And then onto that, then you'd have the if it was a really wet meeting on a Monday, we're going to have the Friday as well, wouldn't we?
Yes.
Or Thursday.
This year we're doing Thursday nights and Friday nights.
3 days a
Cleaning.
week this year.
Yeah.
Just cleaning, just jet washing air fences. It's going to take 2-3 hours.
And then at the end of the meeting, of course, all of that stuff that you've taken, it's got to be put away.
That's why we're there.
Oh, that, yeah.
12.
That's it. And then on top of that, you've got to setting out all the refs box and anything the referee wanted on a Monday.
Yes.
Fixing their defects and.
Oh, the
keeping
referees
them
always every meeting this year, every single meeting, the referees have
found
come up with something different to complain about.
We had the last meeting, didn't we?
The last
They moaned
meeting-
about a piece of wood that had been on the fence since February this year, and no one else had moaned about it. But last meeting, we had to cut it off.
The kickboards are 600mm high, and the post behind it was 650.
Yeah.
It's been there all year.
Yeah.
Well, the last meeting, no, you got to cut that off. So Chris had to go down with his saw and cut it off. There was a gap between the kickboard and the wire mesh, which was about 40mm, 50mm wide.
That's been there since who was it at the fence?
This year or last year?
This year when he bladdered it, we had to fix it.
Oh, that was one of the juniors in the second
Yeah.
half. Yes, he took out all the kickboards. We replaced it by putting a large, thick pallet behind it, nailing screwing a kickboard in front of it, making it solid. Weren't going to break again. And then
So-
2 months later, the referee says there's a gap there. Can you fill the gap?
So we've got some sort of idea of the banter that you guys had, because some of the volunteers are now on the shout box. So we'll read through some of these.
It must have been good. Because Alan used to come down from
Workington.
Workington every week to join us just for the banter.
Well, Don't have banter in Workington, is there?
Not the same banter.
Not the same down here.
That's true. So, on another tack, Simon Corbett said, saw Cradle at the Old Perry Bar where the one stop is with George Gavin. I remember. Do you remember George
remember
Gavin? Yeah. Winding us up. Remember Soren Shoston, the late Jeanette Cudrunner, who was another one of my heroes. Keith Crisco, Sean McConnell. Fave track was at the wheels. Basic but a good track. It wasn't until the
and Sean McConnell, of course, did ride at Perry Bar in
2007, the first meeting.
2008, I think it
No,
was
2007, the first meeting. In the yeah,
Years on his helmet, didn't he?
Yeah. Still had the same leathers as well, didn't he? From when he
still
rode
had
for,
the same leathers. So Richie Big Boy Racing says, Pete, why didn't you ride for the Brummies?
You did your laps on the other day, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
You did some laps the other day.
Did you? I didn't see that. It was, what did we? That was you, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, damn, I wish I'd put the red flag out.
Oh, no, that wasn't me. Oh, you mean that rather large, overweight...
No, that
large, overweight-looking bloke in a blue and green Kevlar.
That's the one that
That was Richie Big Boy.
That's the one that they put the new shocks on for, isn't it?
Yes, they
okay.
inflated the tyres
Yeah.
a little more as well.
Bailey Butler says, send Sid down a drain.
Yeah, every week.
We forgot that.
Forgot that one.
When it rained, we could pump the drains out, but we had to do it by lowering the pump into the drain.
Well, I were in Sid into the drain.
Lowering Sid, holding the pump in the drain.
I've been down that drain as well, so yeah. Simon Corbett says, remember Cribby smashing the exclusion light? I don't, but yeah.
I think we had Cribby on about 5 years ago, didn't we?
We
He
did, yeah.
He did mention that, I think. So.
He can talk for
Oh, we know.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Sydney Compton, cleaning the changing rooms after a certain rider complained. Now you can tell us about this. Yes, you.
Chris.
I feel, yeah, well, we had that one complaint off a certain rider about the state of the changing rooms, even though they've been cleaned.
Come on, you've got to name names now. You're allowed to now.
No, we can't. Yeah, Mr. Nikolai Clint.
Yep.
Okay, there you go, Mr. Clint.
But what
And
do
I
we
think that was just an excuse to moan because we'd actually beat him in one of the few meetings we did actually win.
Yeah, did we win 2 meetings this year?
Yeah,
Did we?
that was one of them.
Yeah, that was one of them. It was, and it was because of the changing
Because of
rooms.
the changing
If
rooms,
it was
yeah.
because of the changing rooms, you would have made them dirty every week.
Yeah.
But they were
Anyway.
okay when he came back the next time, weren't they?
They were swept out with a nice vase of flowers and sweets and everything on the table for him.
And they won that time as well, Kings.
And they won, yes, they were in the day again.
Bailey Butler says, gave us our best review.
That's it.
Okay. Sydney Compton is calling you Nathan Hargreave. Pete.
That's the guy that broke the fence.
Ah,
Okay.
there you go. There you go. Is that to the end of that? Yes. Okay. So, give me your best Birmingham Speedway memories, and then I'm going to come to you. Pete, we should say, originated Stoke, didn't you?
I was born in Dudley.
Yeah. What? Get him out.
You know where this is going. I was born in Dudley. I was brought up with Speedway Cradley. Up
Okay.
until I was about 13.
So
then
you're
we
a-
moved away to Shropshire.
So you'd have been Bruce Pennell and that
Yes.
era.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Not talking to you
I'm not
anymore.
talking
Yeah. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, my earlier memories of Speedway would have been around 1977 at the age of 5 with me first season ticket
Wow. At 5.
at 5.
Right. How much did that cost?
I can't remember, it weren't much.
No, it was about £2.50, wasn't it? Something stupid. Yeah.
So yeah, that was bringing in at a young age, and then for me, like the rose-coloured glasses there was Soren Suggestion, Billy Sanders, Kermit, great Dane
Kermit.
Hans Nielsen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, mine, rose-coloured glasses, I love the way you put that, would have been Andy Graham, of course.
Yeah.
Malcolm Shakespeare was my first. He was awful, but you know you.
Something you got used to.
Big Al, yeah. Hans Nielsen. I have a picture of me with Hans Nielsen in Pride of Place in my house. And I said, and the true story now, it was just outside the bars. You know, you had the bar
Yeah.
on the main
front or the back straight?
the main straight, and he'd gone into the bar and he'd come out as all the riders did in those days. And I just grabbed him, and my mate took a photo. And my mate said afterwards, "Why did I use my camera to take a photo of you when I could have had it?" But anyway, so I had this photo of Hans Nielsen, and then I told Hans, I said, "I'm going to get you to sign my photo, but not until you're world champion." And he was like, "Well, that might never happen." I said, "It will happen," and it did. But unfortunately,
You never seen him.
I never saw him, so I never did get it signed.
He did actually come back to Perrybar once, didn't he?
2007.
Yeah.
Or part of that.
No, I don't think it was.
Oh no, because it was
the year after.
Yeah, it was. It was your dad brought the book out, didn't
Yes.
he?
Yeah, he was there. He
yeah.
came back for that one meeting, I think. So,
So happy times. I mean, Hans Nielsen, you always knew.
Yeah,
He
he
won,
get 100%
bang,
out of him.
yeah. And that's the thing we've missed at Birmingham for 5-6 years now. Is a decent number one.
Yeah, probably not really since we had Lindsay.
yeah, probably not.
That was probably our best number one.
And ironically, of course, he didn't like riding number one. So
No.
as everybody knows. So.
They changed the rules, didn't they? So the rider in the top of the averages had to ride at number one, and he didn't like that. But hard luck, Jason. Okay, so I'm going to sort of move it on a little bit to 2007. Does anybody remember that team of 2008?
I do.
Yeah.
I would still say that's the best team Birmingham have had in that
Yeah.
19 years, decimated by injuries.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was they were flying, weren't they? They really would have been a good side.
Adam Roynan,
Yep.
Jason Lyons, Kyle Legault, of course, when he was
Yeah.
really flying. I'm trying to think of who else was
Steve
in
Johnson
that.
was in it, wasn't he?
Say again?
Steve Johnson was in.
I
don't
think that
think
was
Alan
no,
was in.
That wasn't that year.
I think
That was
was it?
2010, I think.
2010,
Yeah.
yeah.
was the Australian that I spoke about earlier, and I can't remember his name now.
Richard Sweetman, was it?
Richard Sweetman, yes,
Yeah.
Richard Sweetman,
Yep.
and Seji.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sweetman's 18 points. It's at reserve.
Yeah, and I think Lee Smart was still with us that year. I'm not sure.
Briefly, I think. He was the last one of the... him and Jason Lyons were the last two of the original 2007 riders that came there.
And that was and we was just going everywhere and slaughtering everybody. I think Phil Morris, he was there as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I'm sure he was part of that.
He was a mid-season change, wasn't
Because to check for one of the injuries, and then ironically went to Rye House, and he had Adam Roylan had an innocuous little crash at Rye House and broke his leg.
Was Craig Watson part of that year when we had all them injuries?
No,
I think he came in the year before, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he definitely was after, but I think he might have been one of the ones that replaced one of the injuries. We had 13 riders injured that year. 13.
It was amazing, wasn't it? Unbelievable run. So.
And I don't think we finished last. I think we got the wooden spoon, didn't we? The penultimate.
Yeah, that's the wooden spoon.
Yeah. So, but from a team that I think would have just walked the thing.
I think that team would have won the league. I mean, you tend to forget as well what promise Adam Royden had, and he would. I've always felt he would have been a multiple Grand Prix winner if he'd have stayed fit. That was just the problem because he had so much ability. It was just a real shame. He just never stay fit.
I was talking to him after one of the meetings, and he'd had a 5-1 with Jason Lyons, and I said to him, "Am I right in thinking you was just following Jason, and you was just following where because you could see that he was in second place, and he was just following where in Jason's wheel tracks go." He said, "Yep, I was trying to work out his line and work out, and he was that sort of rider that he was analytical. He was very good, but he was working things out, and I think he was a potential Grand Prix rider until, as we know, the many injuries that he had." Bailey Butler says Phil Morris at 2. What a man to have at number 2. Yeah,
He probably slightly passed his best by the time he got into Birmingham, but was still very solid as a Lord man and good team spirit as well. So
yeah, absolutely. So
if you got the latter ones as well, what an entertaining rider Thomas Peace was out the gate.
Thomas Peace.
you didn't want to be outside him,
No. You couldn't be outside him. Yeah, and of course they won the. They won the pairs. They won the pairs. Yeah, they won the pairs. It's a shame we never did get to win the Premiership, the Premier League rather, before we ended up moving up into the Elite League.
1-2-legger against Paul killed us, top of the league, and nothing.
Yeah. Please don't talk to me about that.
We thought we were going to get to that at some point, didn't we, sir?
Gotta throw that one in.
Yeah, that was a great year. But marred, I think, a little bit in our memory by the fact that Alan Phillips was in charge. 2011, I think.
2013.
2013. And we had such a great year. Brought in Smolinski, and people said, "What are you bringing him in for?" And he'd come in at reserve.
Yeah,
went from reserve to number one.
I think when you think about some of the things that were going on, I think what that team achieved was miraculous, really, because there was so much unrest behind the scenes,
which we didn't know as fans. We didn't know.
Well,
we found out about it.
You always felt going into that season, and certainly the season after, which of course was the season where they finished midway through the season. You felt something wasn't right every time we went into the pits. It just felt like there was an atmosphere.
Yeah, certainly, that second year, and also I think going into the playoffs, we had an inkling that things were not right. Certainly behind the scenes, we did, even to the fact that Alan Phillips didn't actually turn up for the final. He was on holiday.
He did come on the show, didn't he? Didn't he?
He came on the show.
We actually had him in here.
Yeah, we've got pictures of him.
Yeah,
probably around here somewhere, of him on the show. A lot of bad things have been said about Alan Phillips, and I think at the end of the day, he was just out of his depth. He didn't know how to run a Speedway team, and he seemed to think the best thing to do was to just throw money at it.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, why we ended up with Bartosz Schmarzlik.
Yes, for one meeting.
For one meeting, people. I mean, he was with us for more than one meeting, but only one meeting got run.
Yeah.
And that was rained off halfway through, I believe.
That was the Swindon meeting, wasn't it?
I think so.
Wasn't I think that might have been the meeting that Mr. Rossi managed to get called off because Swindon were probably going to lose.
Yeah.
So.
Dragged it in the rain, if I remember, to get the curfew, so we couldn't finish.
Yeah.
I think it was Heat 10, wasn't it? We only needed one race.
And I think the following week, Swindon rode again in the TV match, and they were winning, and he was trying to hurry the meeting up, wasn't he? So
was it ever thus?
Yeah.
Could you imagine a football manager going up to the ref and suggesting that the pitch was too dangerous, and he'd tell him to red card would be out straight away, wouldn't it? But only in Speedway, as we say so often. We finished top of the league.
Yeah.
Even
cracking racing that year.
Absolutely brilliant. Mostly, I mean, Martin Smolinski was a revelation.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody been going around the outside, and
he found
an inside line. Yeah. We found out later, of course, he'd got a little switch on his bike. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Explain that to me.
I think it retarded the ignition so that you got a little bit more grip up the inside. It's something. It was a little. Have I got that right? It was something to do with that.
Something said about that.
Because they discovered, because he got into the GPs, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that's when they discovered it.
Of course, he won a GP as well, didn't he? He won the New Zealand.
He won his first GP, wasn't it?
The New Zealand one, I think he won.
And everybody was like, "Whoa!"
And that was with that switch thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I was also told about the Smolinski line at Birmingham on
The
Bend 2.
Yes.
Bend 2,
So
The grass is high enough, the referee can't see the curb.
you can't see the curb on Bend 2.
So he used to cut in and
And
ride the curb.
Yeah, he worked that out. And so the guy that used to work the flag there, he's not with us anymore, but whenever Smolinski was in, he would move his little marker to say where he could stand. He'd move it in a little bit because he didn't want to lose his toes. Yeah, a very intelligent man. He'd worked out that the referee couldn't see that.
Yeah.
We talk about memories, and I think, the Elite League era ended catastrophically for Birmingham, but there was some great racing in that period, and one memory that sticks for me was when Coventry came, when they had Emil Seifertenoff. Because the atmosphere that night, and more importantly the crowd as well, it was enormous. That's other than the opening meeting. that's probably the biggest crowd I've seen at Perry Bar. It was enormous, wasn't it? The buzz around the place. It was always going to be a big crowd anyway because it was Coventry, and I think that was the first time Coventry had been to Perry Bar in nearly 30 years, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
That was incredible. And I always remember Saifutinov's first race.
Yeah.
How he got round that first bend, I do not know, but he got round it.
Yeah.
He was going so fast.
He loved the track, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think he was quite at saying it was his favourite track in the UK, wasn't
Yeah,
it? So.
he did. Yeah, wouldn't say that now, I don't think. I mean, I'm sorry, guys, but it's the track has, the nature of the track has changed since it was first. It was a great racetrack, and now it's not. And I think it got killed by COVID, being left fallow for a whole year. And
Yes, it did.
you know, I think
never the same after.
yeah, I think that's what did it. It's happened at other tracks as well, and they coped with it. But
It needed digging up and relaying.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
completely.
basically, we just turned up and went, right, lads, crack on. That's what we did. I mean, one of the first meetings after COVID, I was on Ben 4, and there was something wrong with the tractors. One had broken down. And I went behind the fence to watch Ashley Morris and Chris Harris trying to pull the grader off the back of it so they can attach the water cart to the back of the tractor
yeah,
on their own.
yeah.
In Kevlar.
I remember that. That was under David Mason.
Yeah. We only got one tractor working. There was, I mean, in the end of the track stuff went, hey lads, start off back to the pits. We'll do it.
We should say a word about Tony Moles.
Yeah, Tom was down the track, wasn't he?
Is there something-
Yeah, I saw
Sunday.
photographs of him there talking to Nigel Tolley.
Yeah.
So,
Who, along with your dad, kept trying to bring the Brummies back,
Yeah.
and eventually was successful. And he was our saviour on yet another occasion as well.
Yeah.
Because
After Mr. Phillips closed it.
after Mr. Phillips closed it, he came back and opened us up, and we actually won a league
2 leagues.
Twice.
Yeah.
So we won the National League twice. We had some great matches in that National
Yeah,
League.
another good team, that one,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it was a great team. But we had some great matches against Cradley.
Yeah. They didn't like the Killing Beaten, did they? Bob?
They did not like the fact that we come down and beat them. And then Eastbourne did the same.
Yeah.
Which was probably one too many of those sorts of teams coming down for the higher ups in the
Yeah.
the SPA to
It might have been you.
tolerate.
It might have been you that told me this because it was it Mildenhall where Birmingham actually clinched that first.
It was
title in
Mildenhall, yeah,
2015, and
yeah.
I think you told me that there were Mildenhall fans telling you that they were pleased because they didn't want Cradley.
They didn't
to
want
win it.
Cradley to win, yes.
No.
Yeah.
Because Cradley had won it for about 4 years, the previous 4 seasons, and
Yeah.
they'd been completely dominant.
Dominant,
hadn't they? So,
yeah. But then we came and did that, and what a team that was. We had
JPB.
JPB,
yeah. Zach Vitnick, of course.
Zach Vitnick,
Tom Perry. Tom Bacon as well, yeah.
Yep, and Smith,
Jack Smith.
yeah.
Daniel Hume, of course, was in that team, I think, as well. So
I think I think he was. Tom Bacon, Daniel Hume.
Adam Ellis
Adam-
was obviously was
Adam
in the
Ellis.
2015 team, wasn't
Yeah,
he? So,
Adam Ellis in
Yeah.
the one before, the one after.
Another Adam as well, wasn't
Yeah, that
Bad
Kirby,
show,
that
was
was
it?
his second year. Kirby, that was his
Kirby.
third year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't really see it was. I know he spent a
can't
lot of time
remember.
lying on the track and the bike riding on its own. Yeah.
Sam, somebody, I can't remember his name, he only was with us for that season that Adam Ellis was with us,
Yeah.
but who basically won the title for us by himself, pretty much. It was like Adam Ellis would get his 15-point maximum, and just everybody else just try and get 30 points between you.
Yeah.
But,
I
did.
I know we're reflecting on good memories, but I think you've got to remember the difficult ones as well. And I think it's important that we mention Mitchell Davey
Yeah.
because
Worst
he,
crash.
I mean, he became. Obviously, he guested for Birmingham in that final against Eastbourne, didn't he?
He did,
You know,
yeah.
as a guest, and became sort of like a cult hero. And then 2 years later, signed for Birmingham. And I was doing work for Rerun Productions at the time, and I remember interviewing him after about his second or third match, and you could see how thrilled he was to
To
fact
be
that he
there,
joined
yeah.
Birmingham. And I think he would have been on for a really, really good season.
Well, he was outstanding. That
And
year.
then came that meeting against, I I think it was Mildenhall, wasn't it? Double whammy for me with that one, because I can remember obviously doing the interviews before the meeting. He was one of them, and the other one was Danny Ayres.
Wow. What you're telling us is it's your fault.
Yeah, just it's funny how these things work out, wasn't it? But I think in some ways, I don't think Birmingham have ever really recovered from that night against Mildenhall when Mitchell had his crash. I mean, obviously, the final meeting of the season, he was there. Of course, he rode, didn't he? He did some practice after the meeting, but of course, in the end, he decided not to.
And it was a hell of a smash he had. Yeah,
it looked pretty innocuous from where I was, but it's always, I've heard a lot of people who've said. I mean, my father was obviously on the centre green, and that was one of the. He said after that crash, he didn't even finish programming. He just completely switched off from the meeting, and he wasn't very well the day after as well. And I think it was a delayed reaction to that, because he was so lucky to survive that.
He was, and it showed how well thought. I remember Lee. Yes, Kilby. Thank you very much. They did that walk from Perry Bar to Swindon. Hell of a thing he did. Raised a lot of money, but yeah.
Yeah, but a lovely guy. Really was a nice guy, wasn't he, Mitchell? I don't know whether you ever spoke to him. So.
I did, a couple of times. Yeah. I mean, I used to do interviews in those days as well. So, yeah.
This is probably short notice, but Darren Reynolds said, "Could you guys put together your all-time 1 to 7 riders, past and present?" That's probably another show, I think.
Well, we can possibly.
Okay, then
However, and what's on the other show box? Somebody said, what's your best Birmingham rider and your worst Birmingham rider? I think so.
That's going to be easier to.
Best for me. It's going to be obviously Bartek Schmarzlik's got to be up there, but he only managed 3 heats, I think, for us. So I'm going to say Hans Nielsen. I mean, how many times was he world champion?
4.
So you got to say
long after he rode for Birmingham,
he's best. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I think I'd probably go with Hans Nielsen as well.
Me, it's more modern era, I suppose.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've only worked at Birmingham since 2019. But I would have to say Chris Harris, quite frankly.
Chris Harris?
In the last 6 years, the only person I know who's found something out of the track around the outside that others just don't bother.
That's Chris's.
Even this year.
Yeah.
Even this year. He found a line that nobody else has been near.
Yeah.
I've said before, you could stick landmines on the track and Bomber is still right flat out, wouldn't he? So it's just...
what about you, Chris? Because you've seen a few riders in your time, going back. Jason Lyons.
Yep.
See, I mean, I've said this before, haven't I? That I can... One of the best things in that year 2007 and a few years after it with Jason Lyons was that if he missed the gate, you could hear the whole stadium go, "Oh, this is going to be good." And very much like Chris Harris in that respect, I suppose.
I don't think Birmingham have ever really replaced him, have they?
No, not really. Not ever. We've had some. I mean, Ben Barker's had great moments for us. Danny King's had some great moments there. Worst rider. And you guys out there, put yours on for these as well. Best.
Well, I'd have to say Jason Lyons is the best I've seen in my years watching Birmingham.
Say it again, sorry?
I'd have to say Jason Lyons is the best one for me watching Birmingham in the years I've been watching them. So.
But worst, I mean, Finn Jensen comes to mind.
Finn Jensen, by all accounts, was talented, but you just didn't know which one was going to turn.
There was 2 of them. Yeah, there was 2 of them. You just didn't know. His first meeting away at Coventry, he got a maximum beat. I think your dad will probably have a better memory of it than I have. Beating the likes of Ollie Olsen, and we all thought, "Ooh, what have we got here?" Yeah. He came to us and he looked like a novice. Didn't score a point. John Hope says worst is KK. I think that's a little bit unfair.
I was going to say that purely based, not for the fact of being the worst rider, but I was excited when we signed him because the year before he was flying at Coventry, and he joined the Brummies, and each one you could fill your programme in every week. Did not finish or 0.
I'm going to say Peter Pavlichki.
Yeah, he was a disappointment,
wasn't it? Just that's that for me. It was.
Do you remember Mattia Carpenese, the Italian rider?
Oh God, yeah, he was.
I don't think he scored a point. Did
He didn't. He was. Yeah, he was not good, was he?
Who signed these worst riders?
Okay, well, Pavlichki would have been Lawrence, I presume.
Yeah.
Mattia Carpanese was definitely the judge.
Yeah.
KK, probably.
Alan Phillips, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure he had a lot of saying because.
No, it would have been Tony Moll, wouldn't it then?
Well, it
Well, it
probably
would have been Grant Drury, wouldn't it?
Grant
'Cause-
Drury, yeah.
But I saw Casper's up ride for Birmingham at Coventry, and he got an 18 point maximum.
Yeah, he had some
Brilliant.
good. He had some really, really good meetings.
Flying that night.
Another
If it-
one that you didn't know what you were going to get.
Yeah.
did you?
If he'd have had
So when
another
you
6
fly in-
rides that night, he would have won all them as well. Nobody got near him. And that, he was a. I don't think there's any doubt he was a brilliantly talented rider. Just if you got him in the right mood, he was capable of beating anybody. But I think that was the problem at Birmingham. He was just.
That's the problem with KK all the time. Wherever he was very much like that.
Yeah.
Even in the GPs, one minute he'd be winning GPs, and the next
he
minute.
was runner up in the one season. I think
Yeah.
it was a couple of years after he rode for Birmingham. So
Yep, that's right. Ben Barker putting Smolly's smoking bike out with fire extinguisher. That's not quite correct, I'm afraid, Dave. It was actually Martin Smolinski that put it out. And I know because I'm the one that gave him the fire extinguisher.
but you didn't put it out there yourself.
No, well, he just grabbed it off me.
Yeah.
I can't remember. One of the guys that used to work on the track was making their way from the where the fire extinguishers are by the starting gate. But he was a big chap, probably bigger than you, to be honest, and nowhere near as mobile as you.
Know your friends.
And he's going up. So I thought this is going to be tomorrow before this fire extinguisher gets to us. So I ran and grabbed it, and then ran back with the fire extinguisher. By the time I'd got to Martin, I was going myself, and he just grabbed it off me and put it out himself. But yeah, I remember that one. And I also remember, and there's a video of it somewhere.
It's gotta be.
Being chased on the
by Mr.
scent
Doolan.
by Mr. Doolan's bike. Yeah, he did a little pirouette
And followed you.
and followed me.
I don't
And
remember that.
I was recovering from a hernia operation at the time as well.
I remember
So,
that well.
yeah. So the thing came past me, and I thought, "Phew, I'm all right." And then, oh my God, no, I'm not, and collapsed onto the floor.
Not the
So,
only rider
yeah.
that's gone down in front of you, though, isn't it?
Dave Twine, Gordon McGregor rode 2 races for Brum. Second race fell on his head at the starting tape. Never seen him again.
Gordon McGregor.
I do remember
how far is
that
That's
now.
going back 60, 70, surely, isn't it? I would have thought.
I do remember that now. Favourite, Alan Graham. Worst, Pavlichki. The Enigma, Finn Jensen.
And Vaclav Milic.
And Vaclav Milic. Yeah.
Milic wasn't really there long enough, though, was he? I don't
No.
think. Because he had a couple of good meetings, didn't he? But again, I think he was one of these riders that was probably riding a place in the team above where he should have been.
Yeah, I think that's
shouldn't have
been
riding number one.
I think that's been the problem of the past 3-4 seasons. That all the riders we got in any other team would have been done a good job because they would have been in the correct riding position.
Yeah.
So, Toby isn't a number one. In any other team, he wouldn't have. Well, in a lot of other teams, he'd have been riding at reserve with his average. So I think that sort of says it all. That's the problem. Always with being out of position because, as you said, we haven't had that number one.
Yep.
That's what's always been missing. Got a few more on the shout box. Duncan Bempton is talking about some of the good riders we had. Arthur Browning, John Hart, who was there on Monday.
John Hart's there most weeks,
Yeah.
though, wasn't he? So big
Phil,
Arthurs as well. So.
Phil Hearn, another one of my favourite riders. Loved Phil Hearn. Graham, there's 2 Grahams. Stanek Kudrunner. We should talk a little bit about Kermit.
Mm-hmm.
He was just pure box office.
He was your old day sort of. Your modern equivalent to that would be Paco. A fan favourite.
Yeah, absolutely. He was that sort of.
Yeah.
He was just. He'd never give up on, like Paco. He'd never give up on the track, and he would just try mad things.
Yeah.
It was. I can't explain it. Gary Middleton,
Yep.
Hans Nielsen, Soren
Shoston,
Shoston,
yeah.
Graham Warren, of course. Graham Warren probably is the best says Duncan Petterville, which your dad would agree
I
with.
don't think my dad saw him when he was at his absolute. I mean, his best year was 1950 when he was third in the World Championship, I think. But obviously, I think he fractured his skull, didn't he?
He had a bad accident, didn't he?
In New Zealand, and he was never quite the same after that. I mean, I think my dad's all-time hero would be Alan Hunt.
Alan Hunt.
You know, obviously known as Wacker, and of course was a local man as well. So, and of course, that first meeting in 2007 was, of course, the meeting in his honour. That was the Alan Hunt Memorial Trophy. And of course, I think it was Alan's sister that was the one who cut the ribbon at the tapes alongside my dad.
Yes, it was.
And, I thought it was quite. I always remember saying to it afterwards, you can now say you've stood at the tapes next to Ivan Major and you broke the tapes first. So, well, you've got a story about Ivan, haven't you, from the opening night?
Ivan Major, yeah. I mean, talk about talking, your heroes. Ivan Major, obviously, back in those days, was the man.
Yeah.
And and I don't think many people. You have rivals, and you think, "Oh, I don't like him," but I don't think anybody ever thought that about Ivan Major. A couple of stories about Ivan Major, actually, but the one that you're referring to is in 2007 in that opening meeting. I was standing with my red flag from the very first time that I'd ever done that, thinking, "Oh my God, these go a bit quicker than you realise when you get that close to them." And he just came up and started chatting to me, and I'm going, I'm talking to Ivan Major, and he was telling me about the old Perry Bar, the one at the One Stop, the one in the 70s, and it had got long straights and tight corners. He said, and what used to happen, he said, that is everybody would gate and go hurtling to the first corner, and we'd all be in front and then go, there's a corner. And all the Brummie riders had shut off before us would come tootling up the inside of us. Yeah. Because they'd made the corner. And the other, so he was telling me also telling me that he really liked the track and that it was based on the Somerset track, which was a great track as well.
Somerset was a great track, yeah.
The other story about Ivan Major was he was back in the 70s. He was at the gates at Perry Bar, us against. I think he was probably riding for Exeter.
I think it might have been.
It might have been Hull or Exeter. But anyway, he was at the gates, and of course it's Ivan Major. You don't think you're going to win that race, and he broke the tapes.
Yeah,
just went forward and broke the tapes. Remember, they used to do that a lot in those days, as you're saying. Big cheer went up because he's going to be excluded, and he refused to move. And he got on. He left his bike there, and he went back to the referee, and and then he come back, and he's back on his bike, and the referees let him in because he'd noticed that on the tapes there wasn't a little elastic band. There's a little elastic band that he'd noticed that that they'd just tied the tapes up. And that was against the rules. Yeah. So he clocked that and then he broke the tapes and he got So
they said, don't they, about Ivan, the ultimate professional, and he knew that rule book inside out, didn't he? So
he wasn't very popular.
A little bit of gamesmanship, I think, from the great man, but ultimately he won 6 world championships. So.
Exactly. In a time that nobody else won 6 world championships in that era of. He's always going to go down as the best
in
as far as world final era. You can't argue with that because nobody else ever did that.
The only one that was close was Funding, really, when it went 5. So.
John Bailey says Ivan Major was a perfectionist. Yes, he was, and it was great to see him that night. Anyway, that was fun. Right. So we've got as far as the years we're in the Elite League.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we closed down.
Mm-hmm.
For only half a season, so I don't count it.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, we've been going for 19 years, I think. And Tony Mole brought us back into the National League with a cracking team led by Adam Ellis, picked by Phil Morris, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He picked that team. You'd still been working at Stoke then, I presume.
Yeah, was that?
2015.
Yeah.
No. I wasn't working anywhere in 2015.
Okay. I had heard that.
Yeah.
Still the same now.
Yeah.
And we won the league.
Mm-hmm.
And we won the Knockout Cup, I believe. Was it the first year we won? But we won both of them, didn't we?
Yeah.
And the Knockout Cup was probably my favourite trophy of that year because of the way that we won it. And it was almost a repeat
Of 70, was it 74?
74.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing. So go back to 1974. You'll remember the Knockout Cup in 1974 final against Eastbourne.
Not very well. Too young, Mike.
Okay, so the story.
See what he's saying there. So.
The story behind this is that John Hope, best ever meeting for me is 1974 double header against Eastbourne, League and Knockout Cup, but won both. Wow. So what happened was that we went to Eastbourne first leg of the final, and they beat us by 16 points. Now, bear in mind that earlier on in the year, Eastbourne had been to Perry Bar and got a 39-39 draw. They were absolutely crowing that they'd already won it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all their supporters were crowing, all the riders were crowing, the management were saying, "Oh, well, yeah, we've won this."
Yeah.
I think it took us about 6 or 7 heats to overturn that 16-point deficit. It was absolutely...
There was a real grudge between Birmingham and Eastbourne
in those days,
wasn't there?
yeah,
So,
there really was. They even at one point tried putting a rider out with the wrong number on. I can't remember who it was now, but they replaced their reserve with their number one rider had put the reserve's number on.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, somebody spotted it. So
I didn't know that.
yeah.
I never knew that.
Oh yeah.
We should have tried that this year.
Well, maybe. And then, of course, in that when we went into the National League, who did we meet in the final? Eastbourne. It wasn't that year. It was the next year.
Yeah, it was 2016,
because they had Adam Ellis riding for them.
Yes.
They had Adam Ellis riding for them. Did Eastbourne, and they thought they won. Again, we went there and we lost by, I think it was 12 points, not quite 16. But it was quite
it was a hefty lead, wasn't it? It was a lead that you would think they would have been good enough to have
And
defended.
I was there and saw it, and I was going, "Oh, for God's sake," all of that, and all of their fans were in my face. I mean, there was a few of them in my face.
It's not like Eastbourne fans.
No. So, but came back to Perry Bar, and actually, little story. I don't normally do this, but I had a look at the gates. I don't normally go and have a look at the gates, but I did for some reason that night. I went and had a look at the gates, and gate 4 was like a quagmire.
Yeah.
It was mud. I don't know why. I don't know whether I don't think it was a purposely done thing. I'd never seen that before, but it was. And the other 3 gates were fine. And I just remember thinking, God, I hope we win the toss.
Yeah.
And I hope we choose 1 and 3. We won the toss and we choose 1 and 3, which put Adam Ellis, who was on a virtual 12-point maximum average for the year, put him on the outside gate. Mm-hmm. And I thought, it might be interesting. And he was last.
Yeah.
He was last out the gate and couldn't make his way through. It just wheels span. Everybody else was like halfway to the corner before he moved. So I think and I think that he was their talisman that year, like he was the year before for us. He was their talisman, and when we beat them, I think it was Daniel Hume, or I might not. I think it was Daniel Hume. They went out and beat him. We got a 5-1 in that first heat.
Yeah.
I think it knocked the stuffing out of them. I really think it knocked the stuffing out of them, and it was a fairly straightforward match after that. And we beat them again. Yeah. So history repeated itself. There we go. David James says, do you think Paul should move up in 2026?
I don't think there's a cat and nose chance of Paul moving up.
Is there going to be an up to move to?
Well, that's the other thing we'll obviously talk about that when we're back on other shows. So,
But do you think they should move up? I don't think they should have gone down, by the way. But
it's their choice, though, wasn't it? So,
A team like Paul with their history, you'd want them in the top league.
they don't want to race on Mondays or Thursdays.
no, they want to race Wednesdays, don't they? So,
That's the problem. This is where Speedway is more about, not necessarily about the money, but about maximising the amount of money rather than
Yeah, that's
ambition.
yep.
There you go. So we had 2 good years, I'd say, in
Yep.
the National League. And then,
of course, Tony Mould announced that he was going to be retiring.
Mhm.
He did one more year. And I can remember that night, obviously, the final meeting of his promotion. There'd been so much talk, hadn't there, about Nigel Pearson and Kelvin Tatum and Summer Malenko, and Dave Rowe was sort of cheekily putting out
little,
internationals. Could Summer Malenko go to the pits, please?
yeah.
But I did wonder whether he might have said, could Alan Phillips go to the pits, please? But I don't think that would have gone down too well, to be honest. And then, of course, it turned out to be David Mason, who'd signed for Birmingham, obviously, as a rider midway through that 2017 season. And he enjoyed it that much that he bought the place.
He brought the place.
He's with his dad, and, of course, obviously, it's worth remembering another one that's sadly no longer with us, of course, Peter, who is a really nice fella as well. So.
Yeah, I think they had one season and then COVID.
Well, they had the season. They kept them in the National League, which I think was probably the right thing to do. And then, of course, they made the decision to go back up into the Championship in 2019.
Then COVID.
Then the COVID year.
The COVID, yeah.
And I think that COVID year really just knocked the stuffing out of the Masons. And then that 2021 season, they had so many problems, and I think it just wore them down in the end. I think it probably didn't help as well that they were commuting from Sussex to home meetings, and that's of course when they decided to sell the club, and Nigel took it over in 2022.
Yeah, and he put a consortium together, and there's been a lot of things been said, not nice things that have been said about Lawrence, and I guess you put yourself in that position. That just goes with the territory.
Yeah.
But one thing that nobody should ever forget is that without Lawrence, we would have stopped there and then. That would have been the end of Birmingham at that point. So he deserves a great deal of kudos for that.
There have been mistakes made.
Of course.
I think even the Birmingham promotion would admit that they've made mistakes they're probably mistakes that have been forced upon them to make.
A little bit, yeah.
And of course, it hasn't helped the fact that the last few seasons there's always been a bit of a cloud over Birmingham. Are they going to be running next season? And then there's always some sort of thing they've got to sort out first, and then by the time they've sorted it out, everybody else is halfway down the road with their teams.
I think there's a bit of naivety with Nigel Tully. I think if his intention was that he was going to run, he should have just carried on. Not telling not telling riders, well, we might not be running, because you ain't going to get any riders if they don't think you're going to be running. And and other teams have, maybe it's a bit underhand, a bit dishonest, but if your intention is that you are going to be running, if you can sort it out, then that's how you should have, and then maybe he would have got better riders. I don't know. It's ifs and buts, isn't it? But yeah, so the last 3-4 seasons, it's just been defeat after defeat after defeat. But there's been some good moments within that.
I think there was some good racing in last season, 2024.
Yep, a lot of the meetings last year were very close. Last deciders, weren't they?
But I think this season has been just an absolute slog, hasn't it? It's just been.
But even with that, like that Zagar pass in the last meeting, fantastic.
Line around the outside has always been there.
No one's found. No one's
Wanted to use it.
Yeah,
Just did not want to use the outside line.
No.
We've been digging dirt out from under the air fence for weeks.
Yeah.
And saying, look, there it is. Nobody bothered.
Phil Tyler, can you give a shout out to the dozen Plymouth fans, i.e. the Bar Bandits, that will be making their way up to Berwick on Saturday for the Gladiators' final fixture of their season? And yes, Matt, I'll be one of them.
Good luck, Phil. Hopefully see you next year when I come down to Plymouth. So
Yeah. Right. I think we should finish the programme off with hope.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this section. I mean, Nigel Tully says he is
Not giving up.
still searching. Still, there are things in the pipeline.
Yep. And the letters have already started from my father. I can assure you.
Are you aware of Brian's history?
Sort of. I mean, before I'd met Brian, somebody said to me, "Can you help the bloke do the bins?" I said, "Yeah, no problem. Where is he?" And I looked round. There's an old chap, shorts. I mean, there he is, and he was standing in a skip, jumping up and down, trying to get more rubbish into it.
Careful, my mum's listening to this.
Oh, and I said, "Oh, okay." I got over there and I had to help him out of the skip. That was my first time I ever met Brian.
So Brian basically wrote
It's well over 2,000.
letters,
Well over 2,000 letters.
to the councils, to different people, between the Brummies closing
In
in
86
86.
until 2007. So.
yeah, and just kept pestering basically to try and along with Tony Mole as well.
Yeah.
To get Speedway back for Birmingham. So he started again already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did have a big box of his letters, and I don't know where they went when I got divorced, unfortunately. But yeah,
It's not the full set. I think that would have given you a hernia if it had been the full.
I read through a lot of them, and it was yeah.
I had them as well.
You got them as well.
I had them as well. Yeah, I've probably still got them down here. Yeah.
That should be yeah.
Yeah.
Are they emails now that you're writing out?
These would have been written in, obviously, in the
new
90s,
stuff.
yeah.
Is it all going to be email, or is it you're going to sit there and write?
He'll be doing it email now, I would have thought.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be. He might go the old-fashioned way. You know. So no, it was a campaign that I was always aware of. So and I know when Birmingham came back in 2006, we bought him I think the yearbook for 2005, because the plan was that he was going to do a lot of the stats stuff in the for the programme the following season. I remember my mum wrote in there for Christmas, "Happy Christmas, Brian. Your persistence paid off."
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah,
at the end
absolutely.
of the day.
Yeah. Simon Corbett says MJJ signing till May, not telling anybody was bad. Nigel Tully is absolutely adamant that's not still. He's still adamant that was not the case. That he wasn't going to be going at May. That it was a surprise to him. The only thing that I would say on that is that I asked, and I know somebody else did, asked Lawrence and Nigel point blank at the beginning of the season, is he only till May? And he didn't answer. Make of that what you will. But I think a lot of it was that was the hand he was dealt.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to think about that. Yeah. Currently, there are no motorcycle speedway stadiums with a fully enclosed roof. However, some venues are exploring the possibility of adding roofs to enhance their functionality and various events. I have no knowledge of that.
No knowledge of that.
So give us some.
Curious as to who's going to be putting the hand in the pocket for that as well. So.
Yeah.
That's a few quid, isn't it?
It is.
Just
it is.
Bit, yeah. So.
More than £100.
I'm going to ask you, gentlemen, what is your favourite memory from your time working at Birmingham? Have a think about it. I'm not going to just put you on the spot and then get you to come out with something straight off. Mm-hmm. While they're having a think, we should mention 3 points.
Yep.
Brady Kurtz.
What a championship we've suddenly got.
Yeah.
I think it's still very much odds on in favour of Smiles at getting it, because I think he only needs to get second in Voynes to win it.
Right, so, even whether...
Yeah. It's where the...
I think then possibly the sprint race has saved.
Yeah. I think it divides opinion, doesn't it, the sprint race? I know they want to try things that are different, and, I've watched a couple of them. It's been quite interesting to watch, and it's good to follow it, but... I can understand why some of the traditionists aren't so keen on it, really. So, but
it's sort of a distraction from the main event, for me. But so it'd be a shame if there hadn't been that sprint race, I'm not sure whether Brady Kurtz would have even been behind now.
I don't think he would. I think he'd have been level. He might have even been level. So,
which would have been interesting.
Ford did make a bit of history. Only the second rider to win 4 Grand Prix in a row after Tony Rickarson. So he's in exalted company already. So even Smolslik's not done that.
But I don't think Rickarson did it in his rookie season.
No, that's very true. There, Rickarson did it in his final season.
Yeah.
So, it's been incredible. He's been such a breath of fresh air, hasn't he? Even if he doesn't win the championship, to be honest, I hope he does, because I think he's been, as I say, he's been a breath of fresh air. But I think he's the rider of the year, even if he doesn't win the championship.
Absolutely,
the effort that he's put in, because nobody has managed to, else in the field has got anywhere near to challenging Smolslik over the last few years.
Talking of rider of the year, we should do our rider of the week.
I haven't seen any Speedway at all this week, so it's a difficult one for me.
Yeah. Well, I have obviously seen the Grand Prix, so I'm going to say Brady Kurtz.
I'd probably have to go Brady Kurtz as well. So,
have you gentlemen seen any Speedway this week?
No. I wasn't out of the rain at Plymouth.
Yeah.
Those Brummies away at Leicester for the final meeting.
So, who was the best rider there? Would you pick as your rider of the week?
Probably wouldn't be a Brummie on that one. But
Which Leicester rider will it be?
But Frick did really well on that meeting.
Max Frick.
Yeah.
Okay.
They actually made a decent fist fit in the early races, didn't they, Birmingham?
Wasn't off performance. It was done with some of that fight all year.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be I'm sort of going to be your I don't know, pimp. I don't know, because Shane Rawlings wants to know how are you, Webby? Okay.
Oh. I didn't know this was a person.
I know who Shane Rawlings is.
But you're not going to tell us?
No. Okay.
He knows I know that he knows.
So, favourite memory? Have you dredged something up from?
You can go.
I always say teamwork, and I don't mean the riders.
Yeah, I think that the volunteer family.
The volunteer family. With a couple of good examples. There was a junior meeting last year, which the Evans opened at 6:30.
Yeah,
and we spent
all hands to the pump.
an hour, and all hands to all the pumps.
All the pumps, yeah,
and buckets, and lying face down on the grass, lifting water out of the drains to get the water off the track.
Yeah,
and the referee walked round and he said, "Looks all right, doesn't it?" and walked off. And that was his track walk. At the end of the night, he put down on the sheet, it said "Rider of the Night," and he wrote out the track staff.
I remember that. Yeah.
The teamwork that we put together, because when I first started there, it was a bit disorganised, and then they said to me, "Can you be in charge?" I went, "Well, okay." We changed an airbag. The TV was there.
I was
and they said,
that,
"We're going to go to the adverts now while they do this." And they were up at tapes before the adverts had finished, because we'd done the airbag, because we knew what we were doing. We were prepared. And having a good team makes you prepared. And when you hear that Sheffield took 20 minutes or something, and they had 40 minutes at Plymouth the other week because they couldn't get back together, and think, "Well, hang on, haven't they ever taken one down?" The answer is no. But it's just teamwork.
Yeah. That teamwork, I think, that goes along with that is that sense of family.
Yeah.
You wouldn't turn up if you didn't have that, and that's what brought us back every week.
Oh, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
That's going to be a big hole for you guys then, when that's
now we've said we're going to meet up and start covering over sandpits in the parks just to keep the keep it going.
Put up the Arganda Stadium next week doing the long jump pits.
Well, there you go.
Go on, let's have your favourite memory then.
My favourite memory is probably that Eastbourne match. No, I've got another favourite memory actually, and it was from 2007. And it's a favourite memory because it involves my kids.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it was against Workington, although I might be wrong. But I think it was, because I think Kevin Doolan was in that match. And it was Jason Lyons and Ulrich Ostergaard in Heat 15 against whoever it was from Workington. And we needed a 5-1.
Yeah.
And they gated Ulrich Ostergaard was first, Jason Lyons was last. And by the end of the first, lap. Jason Lyons went round everybody in 1.5 corners. And it was Jason Lyons first and Ulrich Ostergaard second, and the place just erupted. And the reason that is a favourite memory is because I went into the bar afterwards with my lads, and Ulrich Ostergaard came up, and my lads all ran up to him, and Ulrich was brilliant with them. Nice, yeah, he was really good, and he was chatting to them. And I said to him, wow, that was some race. He said, yeah. He said, before the race, Jason said to me, if you make the gate, don't go outside, stay on the inside. And he said, and I thought, oh, well, you're my captain, I'll have to do what you say. He said, because normally Ulrich would be straight out into the dirt, wouldn't he? Yeah. He said, and we gated, and I knew they was behind me. And he said, and I could hear them getting closer and closer and closer, and I wanted to go outside, but Jason told me not to go on the outside, and they were getting closer, and all of a sudden they come round. Oh my God, it was Jason. Yeah. A great moment. And strangely, when Ulrich came back, he remembered me from however many years ago, and he asked me how my kids were. Yeah. I mean, you can't.
Can't beat that, can you? So,
that's class.
Yeah.
That is.
People like that.
Well, mine, Birmingham Rider meeting in 2010 against Redcar. Bit of a nondescript meeting. Redcar were bottom of the league at the time, but that meeting sticks out because that's when my dad did his ride for his 70th birthday.
Of course, yeah, on Jason Lyons' bike.
I think it was Gino Manzera's bike actually.
Was it?
He did, yeah. It was an idea we came up with for his 70th birthday, and it was. Just frustrating me that he only did 3 laps, but he needed to come back and do the 4th lap. But I think he was quite taken aback with how uncomfortable the bikes were, to be honest, and how heavy it was obviously Kevlar's, of course, by then, but it was still quite heavy as well. So, but that's a memory from a personal side that sticks in my mind. So,
Dave Twine says, I always thought brought blue tickets off Elias as the best colour.
Never won.
Sydney Compton won't be forgetting Pete's rage when his earphones would never connect.
Every week. I've got new earphones.
Oh, Pete, you've got to tell your story about Scott Nichols.
Oh. Well, it wasn't Scott Nichols who crashed, it was Cameron Heaps crashed. Scott Nichols walked down the track moaning and groaning. I said, what's up? He said, there's a big hole. And I said, well, we'll look into it then. And he gave me a load of verbal abuse. And then their team manager came over and he gave me a load of verbal abuse, and I walked away very quickly. There was a hole in Bend 3, and Cameron hit it every time he went in. Don't know why he just didn't go in a little bit wider.
Sydney says he's not going to forget when you go tripping over tyres as well, Pete.
I have been over a few times.
Or the white rail.
Backwards in the dark.
Or the sheets.
Dave Twine says Poole versus Redcar playoff semi-final now next Tuesday. That we have.
Well, we also do our predictions for this week.
Yes.
There's not too many meetings in fairness, but we will.
Bailey Butler says memory would be Sid driving the pickup. I'll just come to the end. There's just a couple more. And Bailey Butler says especially the pits lamp.
Yeah. First day drive it. Straight to the lamppost.
Excellent. Right, shall we do our predictions league then?
We won't bother with the tables.
Yeah, we'll.
Yeah. Can I have a pen, please?
Just run through. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there's no clicker on the end of that one, so he's.
You can tap it on the table instead.
Okay, so the first one we will go for is the restaged meeting tomorrow between Sheffield and Ipswich in the Premiership, and you guys, if you feel free to join in as well if you want.
Oh, I'm not going to let them get away with it. Don't worry, they are going to join in.
You can't win it, obviously, and unfortunately, you.
We're going to start. We start with Chris this week. This Chris.
Oh, right.
Sheffield Ipswich.
Sheffield by 4.
Draw.
I'm surprised, man. I'll go for Sheffield by 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to go Sheffield 6.
Sheffield 10.
Okay then. Okay, next up, the two sides meet again at Foxhall on Thursday. Ipswich against Sheffield.
And that's up to me, isn't it?
Yep.
Can I say draw again?
You can do.
I'm going to say Ipswich by 4.
I'm going to go Ipswich by 6.
Oh, me.
Yep, you
Ipswich
should.
by 10.
Ipswich by 8.
Ipswich by 12.
Interesting.
Okay. Right, on Thursday, also in the Premiership, Oxford against Leicester.
That's up to you.
Leicester by 12.
Leicester by 8.
Leicester by 10.
Yeah, Leicester by 6.
Leicester by 16.
I think Leicester are,
Could they win the league, Leicester, do you think?
Yes.
I think,
I'd have them as my slight favourites at the moment. So, okay. So we drop into the National League next. Edinburgh against the Steelers.
that's up to you, Chris.
Edinburgh by 4.
Edinburgh by 10.
Edinburgh by 14.
Edinburgh by 8.
Edinburgh by 12.
We got all the numbers now. We got
All the numbers 88, so. Okay. Redcar against Workington on Friday in the Championship.
that's up to me, isn't it? Ooh. Workington have got to win it, haven't they? If they need that, they've got to win all their matches
I
to
don't
knock.
think I think they could do it, but I think it's unlikely. I think
Yeah, I don't
they've
think,
got a tough run
I don't think they're going to win this one, so I'm going to
tough
say
running, so
red car by 10. So
I'll roll Redcar by 14.
I'll go Redcar by 8.
I'll go option. I'll go
it's
Worky by 6.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
I've got to win one.
You never know.
Workington by 10.
Okay.
Okay then.
Now we're starting to understand why the track was never any good.
Berwick against Plymouth is the next one in the Championship on Saturday.
Who was that? Sorry,
Berwick against Plymouth.
Berwick. That's up to you.
Berwick by 12.
Berwick by 10.
You're going to upset some of your fans here now.
Oh, I'm sorry. We've got an understanding, don't
Yeah,
we?
Got fans.
Berwick by 12.
I'll go against you. I'm going to go Plymouth after a Super 8. There you go.
Okay.
Okay. So you're saying a draw then? You're saying a draw
Okay.
then?
We're going to disagree. Berwick by 24.
24.
Yeah.
That is
Who have we got left?
yeah. Well, there is. That's a slight disagreement there.
Okay. Then on Sunday we've got Kent against the Birmingham Bulls.
We're going.
Are you going to you?
Oh, yeah.
That's up to me, isn't it?
I've no idea who's going to be in the team. Have you got any idea who's going to be in the team?
In the Birmingham team,
Mm.
there's quite a few guests.
Yeah.
I believe both the crew
Both
brothers
the
are
crews are in
riding,
it.
I've been told by Lawrence.
Okay.
So it's going to be, and I think they've short as well.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Kent by 10.
I'm going to say Birmingham by 4, just because.
It's Birmingham's.
Yeah.
Officially their last meeting.
Their
isn't it?
last meeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll go Kent by 12.
Birmingham by 6.
Birmingham by 2.
Yeah. Heart leading the head there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't like been drinking.
Okay. Also on Sunday we've got Workington against Berwick in the Championship.
Workington by 6.
Workington by 10.
Workington by 14.
Workington by 4.
Workington by 8.
Okay.
Okay. Glasgow against Poole in the semi-final of the Knocker Cup. That's the second leg. That's on Sunday evening.
That's up to you, Chris. Matt. Whatever your name is.
You don't know me 10 years.
Bloke.
Glasgow by 10.
Glasgow by 6.
Glasgow by 8, just because it's different to what you two have said.
Yeah.
Glasgow by 2.
Glasgow by 12.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Obviously, the next one is going to be the first leg of the playoff semi-final. We don't know who it's going to be yet, so it's going to be Bellevue against either Ipswich or Sheffield. So, should we do a prediction for both of those? Then I can put it on the correct one.
Okay. Go on then. Bellevue. So if it's Bellevue versus Ipswich.
I'll go Ipswich by 4.
Ipswich by 10.
Ipswich by 4, I think, is a good shout, actually.
Yeah.
I'll go Bellevue by 4.
I was thinking Bellevue by 6, yeah.
Okay. Right. So if it's Bellevue against Sheffield, I will go for Bellevue by 10.
Bellevue by 12.
Draw.
Bellevue by 8.
Bellevue by 10.
Okay. And one addition to the fixtures. It's not been put on the post I put on Facebook, but I will add it on. It's the First leg of the player semi-final, Pool against Redcar. That's next Tuesday, so we will have that on during next week's show.
That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go for this one. Pool versus Redcar. I'm going to say Pool by 10.
Pool by 8.
Pool by 6.
Pool by 12.
4 by 12 on a Tuesday.
It is Tuesday, yep.
Oh, right.
That's
I
nice.
ride Mondays or Thursdays, but they can ride Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Only in
For
Speedway.
a final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it then. That's our fixtures done for this week.
How nice is it that they're actually running a final in September?
Yes.
Yeah, about bloody time. Anyway. Here's a shout for worst rider that we've nobody said.
Oh dear. So, yeah.
Bjarne Pedersen. You can start. You've got 5 more minutes. You can just.
I've got 5 more minutes.
I remember that crash. I remember.
Oh no,
Dave's
you haven't got
mentioned-
5 more minutes.
Dave's
I'm
just
looking at your
yeah.
clock up here.
Dave's just mentioned that crash at Brandy with Scott Nichols. That was an horrendous crash, wasn't it? So I think Scott's. I think his wheel collapsed, didn't he?
Yeah,
He did, yeah.
Spoke,
I mean, Bjarne took. I mean, to be fair, Bjarne took a lot of blame for that. But actually, I just think it was a racing
Yeah, I
incident.
think
I
it
don't
was.
think there was anything in it. Not many rode the 2 Perry Bar tracks, 50s, 60s, and then the 70s. Gordon did.
All right, okay.
Gordon McGregor says. Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us in this trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
We will have normal service resume next week.
Normal as we.
As normal as as abnormal as we are. Take care and enjoy your speedway while you've got it, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.
And thank you to our guests.
Oh yeah, suppose. Yeah.
Bye.